21 Savage said that Nas isn't relevant. And I think that everybody just has a different understanding of what relevant or mainstream means, right? When I hear that, I think that people look at Nas and what he's doing right now, and he's doing something that hasn't been done before, right? Nas is almost 50 years old. Hip hop just turned 50 the other day, right? It's still fairly new. So we haven't seen anybody releasing music at the clip that Nas is releasing music at that age. It's just not being done. You can look around and see people who release music pretty infrequently. Like 444 came out in 2017. Busta Rhymes just put out an album a little while ago. They're up in that age bracket, but they're not releasing music at the clip that Nas is releasing it at. So I think when he's saying that, it's just something like he's looking at this thing where Nas is like an enigma. He has a fan base, like he did mention. I don't think it was a shot at Nas. I think it was more the thing that in terms of the mainstream media outlets and the playlists that most of the younger rappers are on, they're not showing that type of recognition to Nas. Hit Boy said in one of the comments that they didn't have marketing or promo budget for this. They just put the music out. So that's the thing of like, my fans are going to find it. And when I hear this, it also relates back to the conversation that was being had a couple of weeks ago about can you get blacklisted or blackballed in music. I think the points that Russ and DJ Academics were making in a conversation they had, both were valid from different perspectives, right? Russ's perspective was that you can't be blackballed. If my fans can find my music, they can go listen to it. Where DJ Academics was saying, if you're not on the major playlists or the major media platforms, then you're missing out on the majority of the attention that a lot of rappers get. Now we're at this point where the labels are essentially feeding these playlists and they're feeding these media platforms the artists that they want people to see. And so because of that, people think if you're not being fed into this system, if you're not being shown on Rap Caviar, if you're not being shown on hot new hip hop on Twitter or whatever, if you're not on these platforms, then you're missing out on most of the attention, so people aren't going to listen to your stuff. But I think the other side of that is if your fans are die hard and your music is really that good, they're going to go listen regardless. And I think the biggest example of this is NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy has been blacklisted or blackballed from playlists, just like Kodak Black. But people love his music so much, he's still like the number 1 streaming rapper on YouTube. People are going to go listen. And so I think the argument around mainstream and relevant is kind of obsolete at this point. Whatever a mainstream media platform used to be, it's not the same thing now. There are platforms and playlists with large followings which can give you a boost. But if your music is good enough, you don't need the push. You don't need the help. People are just going to find it. So I think now we're at this point where people are realizing that, like, if I can garner attention on YouTube, if I can garner attention on TikTok, if I can garner attention on Instagram, if I can garner attention on Twitch, wherever it is, and get people to go listen to my music because it's that good, then I don't need to be mainstream, right? I don't consider Russ mainstream. He's not on Rap Caviar all the time. Very rarely is he getting playlisted like that. I think it's more a thing of like, he's just people find him because his music is so good and people are sharing it with other people. People are coming to concerts. Like, he's just so good to his fans that he's been able to gain a massive following. He just sold out a stadium in like India or something like that, or Malaysia. Like, he's all over the globe because people are finding his music and not necessarily on Rap Caviar, and not necessarily on these hot new hip hop playlists and stuff like that. So I think it's more a conversation of just understanding that you can gain a following and not be mainstream or popular, because what does that even mean anymore?